Hi, I've been asked a lot about Salmonella in the past week, so I just thought I'd share some headlines with you and hope that's helpful for you. So Salmonella in the food chain creates a condition called salmonellosis. Salmonellosis is very nasty. The symptoms of that are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, sometimes vomiting and diarrhea at the same time, extreme belly cramps, abdominal pains, and it leaves you very dehydrated and quite frankly shattered, no pun intended. Very fatigued for a long period of time. Now, depending on how healthy you are, if this gets you, depends on how you're going to manage in this situation and come through it. Sadly, if you're compromised before this gets you, that can be a particularly vulnerable position to be in. And not to put too fine a point on it, but people don't always pull through, and there can be fatalities. So it is in fact a very serious situation that is entirely preventable. So food manufacturers or food business operators in general, for any business that is selling food, have a responsibility to make sure that they have adequate food hygiene processes in place to minimise this from happening. And they do this by having food safety systems in place, hygienic practices. Now, sometimes that falls through and people get sick with contaminated products. The source of the contamination is predominantly fecal material from animals and birds. Now, that doesn't mean that it only comes from animals and birds, but anything that's been in contact with the contaminated material, and that could be plant-based material as well, and sometimes it can come from a food handler that's contaminated. But the consequences of this can be very devastating for individuals, a very sick period of time, extremely unpleasant, and sometimes fatalities. But the consequences for business are also very enormous. The impact that this has on the business disruption and continuity is significant. Very costly product recalls, and there will be investigations internally and from the local authorities. In some instances there will be fines, and I cast back to the Salmonella outbreak for Cadbury's. I believe they were fined somewhere in the region of £1 million. But the reparation costs to correct things within the various sites of their business are reportedly to be in the region of £30 million. So that is quite a significant thing to happen in any businesses, and not all businesses will survive that. Also, individuals who are responsible for making sure the systems are in place can be prosecuted and imprisoned. And I'll give the example of the Peanut Corporation of America, where an executive was imprisoned for 28 years for making hundreds, him and his team, responsible for making hundreds of people sick and also causing fatalities. So I'm wrestling with the building works that are going on. I hope you can hear me all right. I hope that information is helpful to you, and if I can be of any support to you or guidance to you, then please do give me a shout, even just for a chat. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Bye.